Well, what's up, guys? It's Twisty, it's the Spiz, and we're doing more and more of these live workshops, jam sessions to share insights into all the different ways to make more money, save money, and make your life easier. And I'm bringing in, here's what I love about this woman. She's in and she's outside. And what I mean by that, she's in chiropractic, but also she's outside chiropractic, which I think is it's like the double whammy. It's the best of both worlds because you need to have those insights coming inside and outside. She's helped build practices, but more importantly, she's helped build impact in professional lives to make more freedom, make more money, and just be happier. And I think that's like at the core of her being. And so I'm so excited to introduce, if you haven't met her or haven't seen her, Tammy Jaffe. Dude, you're a badass. I love you, dude. I love what you've built. And I'm so excited that we're going to share this tonight. For anyone who's watching on the recording, which is going to be a lot of you because this is what it's turning out to be, which is cool. That's totally cool. Make sure that you stay and go through the end. Don't wiggle around. So Tammy, if you don't mind, just before we dive into what we're talking about today, for people that don't know you, give us your story and give us the scoop.
Yeah, well, I was going to dive into it too as part of the presentation, but I'll share here since you introed it a little bit, right? So my background, I started in corporate, right, and worked my way up. I call myself a recovering CPA. I started off as a CPA, so I have the accounting background, but I always gravitated towards tech. I've always been the one, like, I'm an efficiency junkie. I gravitate towards tech and try to figure out how to make things more efficient, more effective. Started off my coaching career in 2017, had enough of the corporate life and decided to jump in and start coaching. And after a few years, I had a lot of people come to me and say, "How do you do it? How did you like jump from corporate to starting a business?" So my coach finally hit me over the head and was like, "Would you just go teach these people how to do it?" And that's when I became a business coach. And so I've been business coaching, a strategist for several years. But the other side and the flip side to that is my husband is a chiropractor. And so Dr. Chapman,
God bless him. God
yes,
bless him.
amazing. And so I have been on his board since the beginning. I am his chief strategy officer. I manage our marketing team, helped him with leadership things along the way. And I'll tell us a little bit more as we go into this, but over the last year have gotten way more involved with the
Well,
chiropractic side of the business.
I'm excited about how you're making teams better, bolder, and more magical and helping practices now. I just got off the phone early a couple hours ago with someone who's using Dr. Aaron Kaplan, he's like, man, this is great. So you guys, this is going to be awesome. Real quick, before we dive into this, I want to pull and sneak. I'm going to be sneaky here. One CPA hat. I want to put your old CPA hat on. What's the dumbest or what's the smartest thing actually that chiropractors should be doing with their books and preparing for taxes coming up?
I mean, you got to take a look at like preparing for their taxes. I mean, I haven't done taxes in a while, so I'll be honest about that.
It's okay, dude. I just want to get your golden nugget because I know it's still in there.
Yes. I mean, I think most businesses ignore their books until tax time comes. So I would say the biggest thing is know what your numbers are. And I know we talk about this all the time. You talk about the marketing numbers and knowing what your numbers are, knowing what your conversion rates are. But you also got to know, like, where is your biggest revenue coming from? Where are your biggest expenses? And one of the things we love to do is take a look at, okay, by revenue source. So if you take insurance, like, where is that biggest revenue coming from? What are the insurance providers? If it's cash, what are those biggest revenue providers coming in so that we can then take that and market to them more, right? So I look at it from
Love it.
so many ways of like, okay, you got to know where it's coming from, but then how do you use that to expand it and grow on it? Doctors look at it as their PBA, right? What's their cost per visit? And they do it in total, but are you breaking that down by your revenue source?
Yeah.
That's going to tell you, we work, for example, we work with a lot of VA, we have PI, we work with different insurances. And when we broke that down and started looking at it, okay, what are we bringing in for the VA patients? Okay, we need to focus more on VA because their dollar per visit is
Hmm.
much higher. Then we're looking at PI, so we look at what are our biggest revenue sources by what are we getting per visit. So that's my tip for today.
I love it. Thank you for letting me steal one in there. And now, this is how that brain thinks. And we have to have brains like that in our practices and in chiropractic. It's a blessing to have Tammy here. Share with us what's going on now in the world of helping teams and with AIs and automations and all this stuff because you're ahead of the game.
Yeah. Well, let me share my screen here. I'm going to dive into a little bit, but we're going to talk mostly. And I know Tristan will have lots of questions for me. So if you guys have questions, feel free to throw those in the chat as we go along. Happy to answer those. But I want to talk about how you can stop losing sleep, losing patience while you sleep, because we don't work 24/7 and nor do we want to work 24/7. We need to be able to be accessible when people call in, when people are on our websites. How do we convert more people? So that's what we're going to be diving into. So, how do you stop losing patience while you sleep? And there are some statistics I'm going to share, things we're going to dive deeper into. But every missed call or website bounce equals lost patients. Translated equals lost revenue. That should be another patient coming into your office. So if you look at what is your average case, and I was looking at some statistics and it was like $1,200 is the average case. If you are a chiropractor only doing $1,200 per case, let's talk. Tristan will talk to you. I'll talk to you. We got to get that average up, right? If it's 2,500, 5,000, that's where we want you to be, getting those high ticket cases that are coming in and being able to convert those patients and get them coming back and then bring them into wellness, right? So you're losing out on thousands of dollars every time somebody bounces off your website, every time somebody hangs up the phone because they're calling, because only 3 to 4% of website visitors ever contact your office. Most of them, 97%, are just looking at something and then clicking away.
Yeah.
So how do you capture them? And we're going to talk about that. Your after hours phone calls, they're mostly hangups. Most people are not going to leave a voicemail. So if they're new patients calling, they want to schedule, you don't answer, majority of the time they're hanging up and calling the next doctor, right? They're just going down their Google search. Okay, who's next? Who's going to answer the phone call? And your staff is already so overwhelmed with repetitive calls. And I can relate to this even more than ever. So,
Yeah.
I've lived through these struggles before. I've shared a lot of this already. I'm a business coach. I'm a Twisty certified growth coordinator. I am a Six Sigma certified. So I am your efficiency junkie. Like, how can we make things better, faster, easier for you? I mentioned I was a former head of technology for the third largest real estate company in the world. I've managed large teams in tech, tried to figure these things out, looked at how we can automate things across the board, and done large scale implementations. And mentioned I'm married to a chiropractor, but what I didn't mention is that I also ran his front desk. So little over about a year and a half
More
ago,
than ran his front desk, revitalized his front office.
tried to, right? So did what I could to help them. I mean, our office manager had been trying to get me behind the front desk to help her figure out how to make things more efficient. Well, she went out on maternity leave last May. And the week after she left, we had just hired 3 new staff people. 2 of them called in sick. The only one left had only been with us for like 2 weeks. And I could see like the color drain out of my husband's face. I'm looking at him. I see the stress building. And I'm like, oh, so you need me to come in and figure this out? And luckily, I was in a position at that point where I was about to head into the summer and I didn't have any big launches coming for my coaching business. And I was like planning on spending some time with my girls and doing some fun things as
Yeah.
I prepped for my launch in September. And so I had that flexibility to be able to be like, okay, I'm going to come in and figure this out. I had never stepped behind the front desk. 18 years that we had been together. And so I went in and luckily I had our office manager start recording videos before she left. And we had created this whole training portal for our CAs. And so I ended up being the one doing all the training, trying to figure these things out. And so I not just stepped in, I had to figure it out on my own with her training videos, but basically very little guidance. And so that led to trying to figure out how we could improve things in the office. Where could we automate? And we found out a lot of that was due to tech. Like we were limited by the technology that we had. And so we're in the midst of going through a tech conversion. Knock on wood, we go live next week with a new system that will also help us to automate even more.
Yeah.
And as I was in there one day, I mean, you all have those days where it's like, some days, you know, the phone is manageable, it's not so bad. And there's other days where the phone just does not stop ringing. It was one of those days that I was like, looked at the CA, was working with them. Like she would walk up to the front desk and I would just hand her a phone because I'm on the other phone. And then we're not, patients are walking in and out and we're trying to manage phone conversations, patients coming in and out. And it was almost impossible to stay focused on the patients at hand because the phone just would
Yeah.
not stop ringing. And so we were looking at, okay, how can we improve this? How can we make some changes? And this led to the creation of the Inspired AI Hub. And this is where we help practices to stop leaving money on the table in lots of ways. And we're going to talk mainly about our voice and conversation AIs today. I'm going to give you a little nugget of some other things we do as well, but we don't want you losing those patients to voicemail, right? We've created a voice AI system where we have it available 24/7. We have some offices that only want it off hours. We have other offices that are like, yes, turn it on 24/7. We have it on in our office 24/7. So it's the first voice that somebody hears when they call the office, and it can schedule those new patients for them. So it's not having to come into the office and ask all those questions. They get a full transcript of every conversation. We've given it rules. Okay, when do we transfer to the office? When do we take a message? So we've programmed all of these different things so that now they're not getting a voicemail where they don't know what the dates are that are available, or if they can even get in tomorrow, or when they can come see, or if you're even taking new patients. Now, the voice AI agent is going to schedule that for you. So, no more phone tag with the patient, trying to call them back, and you get the voicemail and you don't get them, and it goes on for days. It's booked. You come in the next morning, it's already there.
Dude, that's beautiful. I just want to go backwards because one of the biggest things that happened to me in my med spa clinic when we were running, we're getting really aggressive in advertising. I mean, super aggressive. This is years and years and years ago, but radio, TV, Google ads, Facebook ads, print ads. And I did this leaky bucket thing where I was like, I don't understand, like, why aren't we getting more phone calls? Because that was our main call to action. And it still is one of the biggest drivers for most patients. It's, we're seeing still the older patient that likes to call and stuff like that. And I found like we had two phone lines. And after that, it just went nowhere. So, especially during those peak times, and we didn't have anything like this back then. So, this is, I mean, I look at this and go, oh my God, the only other answer for years has been to hire VAs or hire a call service, which is expensive and can be really, really bad for training and brand and all the mistakes that can happen. So I'm digging this, dude. Okay, I love it.
No, and I'm glad you brought that up because I've talked to a couple doctors recently that and have been onboarding them that have been using those, ma- you know, off hours answering services just to have a live human answer the phones. One was paying 600, one's paying like 800 a month. And they're like, they suck.
Plus the usage on those. Yeah, yeah.
They're like, they suck. They don't do what they're supposed to. We have gotten such better results with this, and it will cost you less. So, yeah, so absolutely.
Love
We're
it.
going from that, like answering the phone versus, okay, I just woke up and I have a new patient book.
Well, I already had Dr. Aaron tell me that he's like got one new patient. And I think you should look at this as I saved one new patient that probably would have and that's huge because I don't think people realize the leaky buckets that you're solving with this until like, this is great. I'm gonna shut up. Keep going.
No, it's great. And so Dr. Aaron was one of our first people on. He is doing amazing. It's great. He was just like, I'll share one of his stories. He came to me and he's like, I've been trying to work with somebody because I'm going to talk about the chat widget next. He's I've been trying to work with someone to get the chat widget working. It's just not working right. And I've been going through this for months.
Oh,
And
that's full disclosure. It's me. We put a shitty chat widget on his website because we didn't have any other answer. I'm cool with that. Hey, and that's the reality. Most people have shitty chat widgets. I mean, that's the truth, and that we were duct taping. So
yeah.
that's why
And
you're here.
yeah, so we got his implemented and updated, and he is going live. And one thing I love, we're turning this browser into book patients because you mentioned like all these different ads you're running. The first thing people do if they don't like directly go to your ad and book, they're going and Googling you and they're looking at your reviews and they're looking at your website. And so what happens when they get to your website? You lose them because nothing's there. They're like,
Capturing nothing.
yeah. And so they have questions. So now, and we've put it on some of them, Dr. is one, he's like, I wanted to say I'm available 24/7. It's there answering questions 24/7 for you. And we have programmed these agents with so much knowledge. So, I mean, I have frequently asked questions at the yin yang on different, and you'll see if if you decide to come on our onboarding process, like we ask you all of these different things. There's probably 30 different modalities, functions that you might have, whether it's, obviously chiropractic, if you're in chiropractic, but laser therapies and which class of lasers. We get down to that specific so that if somebody asks a question, it's answering in the right protocol. If you have massage therapists, it can ask
Mhm.
all kinds of questions and it's available to answer those questions in a positive way. And then it always asks, and would you like to schedule an appointment? And so it's constantly prompting it, and they answers the question, and it's like, okay, here's your answer. Now let's get you booked, right? So we've had I think it was the first week we had our chat widget up on our website for Jaffe Chiropractic, and a patient came to our website that had gone through our Facebook ad and booked it through there. And we were just like, that's the coolest thing ever, right? Like,
Yeah.
to be able to not lose them in the process, but they asked a couple questions and then they booked their appointment. And nobody on our team had to touch anything. So it's a great process. Yeah. So we answer all kinds of questions like what insurance are you in network with? Where's your location? All these kind of things we have programmed the agent to be able to do. It will capture their contact information, schedule their appointments, and it boosts your website conversion by 2 to 4 times is the
Yeah.
data that we've been seeing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the math already and adding up from the voicemail version, from moving from voicemail to having an answering service through AI and through this system, and then adding in the website conversions, just to give you guys math money on the table right now. And Tammy's right, you guys should be having 2,500 to $5,000 care plans, but let's just say you're averaging 1,000 care plan, like the average doc out there. Right now that's going to be at least $5,000 to $10,000 more in your practice a month. And that's a game changer. This is badass, dude.
Yeah, we get very excited about saying this. So this also just frees up your staff's time to focus on patient care, which is, to me, one of the most important things when you're in the office is being there with your patients and being able to give them the care they need without being distracted all the time by having to return phone calls and do all these things. No more repetitive calls. You get those calls to the office where it's, Google or somebody trying to sell something. It knows how to handle those calls and it will take a message or it will tell them that we don't deal with those kind of, calls.
Yeah.
So it will weed all of those out. It handles the scheduling and frequently asked questions. Your staff can focus on those patients and there's less burnout and less turnover because believe me, I know because I actually have my CA certification now. I had to go get that after being in the office for 4 months full time. And just the amount of stuff that you put on your staff. And as something changes, I don't
Yeah.
know how many times, like, we have to add a new DX code to this billing. And so now there's more work that has to happen. And so this is just one more thing that you can free up your staff to do the more important things and let the AI handle this.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone's been there, they've seen those pickup times, those 10 to 11 spots, those after lunch hour spots where your team is just stressed out, and I'd rather have them relaxed and spizzing and loving on the people because that's what creates the retention and that's what creates the family atmosphere that people well, actually better than family atmosphere. This is brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
So yeah, we are the Inspired AI Hub is what we created. And what we're talking about is our Essentials program. And I named it the Essentials program because I truly believe it's essential for every office. This is the basics. Like you got to have the essentials, right? It's your 24/7 voice AI agent booking your new patients for you. It's your 24/7 chat AI widget. It's the white glove onboarding. I work with you personally on onboarding and work through because there are going to be differences for us offices. So we're going to customize it and we're going to work through variances of what you want to see and what you don't want to see. And then we've got our ongoing training and support. And we are on a HIPAA compliant database. So everything in our system is HIPAA compliant so that we can make sure all your information is safe.
Beautiful.
Awesome. So I do have some special bonuses for you because, we're here with Twisty. We have to do bonuses. So when you join us today, we're going to give you 14-day free trial. So it's going to take us, normally I say 7 to 10 business days to get you set up. We can do it a little bit faster sometimes, depending on, how many people we're onboarding at once. But there's no cost during the setup and as we work through some of those tweaks that you want to do. So 14-day free trial as we get you set up and going and make sure everything's exactly the way you want it. I am waiving our $5.97 setup fee for anyone who does this in the month of October. So get on board with us. We're waiving that fee. And we're first 5 signups are going to get $50 off per month lifetime discount. So giving you a Twisty 50 code here that you can use for the first 5 people are going to get that $50 off for lifetime.
Dude, all right, badass.
So let me just review what you get if you want to join us today. This Inspired AI Hub, the Essentials program, you get the voice AI agent customized for your practice. That's over a $2,000 value. I have seen lots of competitors that are charging $2,000 a month for this.
Yeah.
Your AI chat widget valued at 1,500. Your HIPAA compliant database. Your bonus for the no payments for 14 days. Your setup fee waived, $597 value. Your $50 lifetime. That's over $4,200 lifetime value. For just $347 a month for the first 5 people, that's what you're going to get it for. And then it's going back up to the $397. So jump in with us today. I'll give you the QR code in just a second. And I wanted to say this is Essentials is just the beginning. The Inspired AI Hub, we have a few levels. I'm just going to share quickly what those are. We always want you to start with the essentials, like get this in place, your voice and chat. Went the wrong way. All right. And then we're
You're
going to
good.
grow into campaigns. We've got review AI where it'll respond to every review that you do somebody sends you on Google and Facebook, because that builds up your SEO, right? And Tristan is always going to talk to you about making sure your SEO is built up and making sure those things are happening. We've got social AI, content AI, where it'll create your social media posts. It'll create your blogs for you. And we've got advanced automations. We give you lots of templates, all kinds of things in the growth. And then we have scale. And this is really about becoming the market leader with the
Mhm.
done for you. We do quarterly done for you campaigns. We have a monthly mastermind. You get to do strategy sessions with me, planning quarterly meetings. Like, we go into all kinds of things here, but this is really just for that top percentage of people who really want to become those market leaders and work with us to help you get there. So if you're ready to stop losing patience, scan the code here and use your code Twisty50. If you're the first 5, you'll get that $50 life.
Love it, dude. And that's why I wanted to start with you guys understanding the brain and the talent that you're working with. I mean, a beautiful nerd. And I mean that lovingly. And the fact is, to grow into this and get to that domination level, I don't know a better team and a better leader than Tammy Jaffe that can get you guys there. This is killer. Thanks for giving my peeps and the Spiz readers this. Jump on this. If you're watching and recording, hurry up fast, because I know what happens over the weekend and things like that. So if you're getting this on Saturday, because that's when I'm going to send this out again, it might be gone. I'll fight for you if you hit me up and you're like, hey, Twisty, can you help me out? I'll fight as best as I can. This is brilliant, dude. I mean, you're solving so many answers in so many leaky buckets, and it's a steal of a deal. It really, really is. I think it's undervalued at that price, but that's my take. I know, that's my take. Jump on this guy.
Well, and it's not going to be this price forever. This is kind of our,
Yeah.
this is our beta launch prices. So get in while you can.
Dude, I appreciate you jamming with us tonight. And for those that are taking advantage, I'm going to give an extra Twisty bonus myself on this, a value add that I'm going to bring in from the retention side, because Tammy's already building out some other cool stuff that I'm going to ask her to throw in one little thing that will be really easy, but killer for you guys. And it's another couple $1,000 value. It's a no-brainer. So that's my extra give, because I want you guys to make more money, save money, and make your life easier. And this does all 3. Hard to find all 3. Dude, thanks for building this out. Thanks for taking the leadership on this. And thanks for helping chiropractic, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on, Twisty. It's been fun.